What's going on, man? How you doing?
What up? What up? What up? I'm here. I'm
Yeah, we
surviving.
making it, bro. We making it. We are here. We are
I'm
here.
surviving.
Huh?
What about you, man? What are you up to?
I am surviving.
Yeah,
I'm
surviving.
making it. I'm making it. No. It ain't. I took a Celsius.
Okay.
Um,
Hey.
about an hour before. I think you can probably see it in my eyes a little bit. Probably, a little tired tonight. A
Yeah.
little tired tonight. Gotta
Hey,
gotta.
man. It's been action packed though. I feel like it's been super busy, but
Yeah, bro. It is. I feel like like it hadn't been any slowdown, right? Like, and I think you
right.
feel it. Thanksgiving is next week, and I think as a collective, I think you feel the anxiety of the build up to a couple of days off for some rest, right? I
Right.
think like as you get closer to some off days, like it just seems like you ramp up with way more work and you overload yourself. And so all it does is fatigue you even more. So I think that's what I'm feeling right now.
Dude, it was last Thursday. I was in a meeting and I thought to myself, is Thanksgiving in 2 weeks?
Yep.
And then that's when it dawned on me. Like everything just stopped in the meeting. I was like looking through my phone. I was like, no, look, carry the one, add it, subtract it, multiply, divide. Oh, it is 2 weeks away.
Man,
And now it is next week. And
next week.
it's freaking me out, man. It's freaking me out because I don't understand how last week was Halloween, but next week is Thanksgiving. I just can't do the math.
Hey, and a friend of mine. So I live every day like something is tomorrow, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter when it is, right? I'd be like, Christmas is tomorrow because it's like before you blink, it's here. And
It's too quick. It's too quick.
It's like everything is tomorrow because it just seems like you get to grinding real hard or you lose focus on whatever is happening around you, and then you look up and tomorrow is today, right? And it's just
Right.
like, what the hell? Where did it go? What happened? So
I can't keep up. I can't keep up. Like I literally feel like last week was Halloween and somehow next week is Thanksgiving. And the
brother,
week
yesterday
after
was
that
4th of
is
July.
Christmas. And I
No,
don't understand.
brother, yesterday was 4th of July. Like
For real. And I'm like, this world, it's getting too fast now. Come on now. Stop playing.
I woke up this morning, go to the gym, bro, and I had frost on my car. I said, what the hell? What is this?
Bro, talking about this weather. Atlanta straight up went from summer to midwinter. I thought White Walkers were about to roll up on my street as cold as it got yesterday and today. I was like, yo, it's like cold. And then they said tomorrow the low is like in the 20s. I'm like, in Atlanta? I thought we already went through.
And we ain't hit real winter yet, right? And we just in like fake winter.
I thought that's what I thought. I thought we were in fake winter and everything was all good.
Somebody sent me that that Atlanta that Georgia weather map, right?
That Georgia forecast. That Georgia forecast. Right.
We got like 3 falls, 14 summers, right?
Wow.
Like it's too much, man. It's too much.
Yeah. Hey man, so what are you drinking tonight?
So today I'm gonna keep it regular. I know I promised y'all I was gonna drink today, but I got a little bit of work I need to do when we wrap the show today. Prep for a couple of days off next week. So I am actually drinking this new juice. I bought it a couple weeks ago. It's called Cherry Bundy.
Oh.
And it's straight up cherry juice. Tal, you'll probably like this. I just saw you pop on, and it's supposed to help with post-workout recovery. So
is it real cherry juice?
Yeah, it's real cherry juice. Like, so
what kind of cherries?
I don't know, cherries, man.
You better look it up.
It's cherries, bro. Tart cherries, juice, not from concentrate.
Right. Don't drink calories.
I don't already drink stuff. Oh, I don't know. I had a 12-pack. I'm down to 2 more.
So Google this. Tart cherry has the most melatonin in it than any other juice.
Oh shit! I'm about to be knocked out in the middle of the show. Then
look it up. It's true. Tart cherry has like an abundant amount.
I ain't got nothing else to drink down here, so it's too late. So if I fall asleep in the middle of the show, it's because
I gotta call out real quick. Have you seen this video going around on social media of these kids that like a kid in like kindergarten brought gummies to school for Halloween, passed them all out.
You're lying.
The teacher took the video and all the kids is like knocked out. She looks in the bag. It's melatonin gummies that they was out there.
Hey, okay, so that was not me. Just want to let y'all know because y'all know I am a melatonin gummy vitamin advocate for my children. So that was not me, but I need to see that video. Send me that video.
I thought that joint was hilarious. It shows like every kid in the class is like knocked out, falling asleep, and the teacher is like, "What is going on?" She looks in the bag and pulls it out. If I find it, I'm gonna show it to you because that joint had me cracking up.
All right, if somebody sees the video, just post it in the thing and we'll pull it up on the show tonight. If we can. But yeah, man. So what are you drinking? I'm sorry.
I am not drinking anything tonight.
Is it because you didn't get up to get it, or
because I ain't feeling it right now. I just want to be honest.
Hey, I feel you, bro. It's like that, man. It's like that.
Hey, I'm looking for this video because if I find this video, y'all
no. Hey, focus on the show. Somebody will send it. Somebody Candace is watching. She'll put it in the comments. Somebody will drop it in there for us. So we'll be all right.
Oh, I found it. Hold on. I'm gonna share my screen so that you can see this. Hold on.
All right, here we go. I'll put it up. No, Daddy, I'm not. Oh, you looking for yours? I get it to you for Christmas. Since we ain't coming home for Thanksgiving this year, I get it to you. I'll make sure I stop by and get it from Lee. Hold on. Tal says you're not drinking hot tea like Coop. Y'all giving Coop hot tea now?
Coop is on hot tea hard.
I love that kid. All right, here we go. Hold on. Are we gonna post this video? You ready?
All right. You ready? Here it goes.
Passed out melatonin gummies during the Halloween party, and now everyone knocked out.
Damn. Hold on. Can we go back real quick? Not all the way. Was that Spider-Man sleep? You see Spider-Man in the back sleep?
You see all them kids knocked out in that class?
Hey, man. Right there. Hey, Spider-Man was back there unconscious, bro. Hold on.
Kids.
Them the adult joints too. Hold on.
Yeah.
So they didn't even give out the kid joints?
No, there's like some kid snuck him in, was like, y'all want this candy?
Dang.
Look at that. Them kids knocked out.
They was unconscious.
I love it.
So, like, I want to know when them kids woke up because, like, they had to be like all day.
I want to know what the parents, if they told the parents.
They had to.
You think so? They were like, so there was a melatonin.
Had to.
Somebody brought melatonin to the classroom, so all your kids ain't going to sleep tonight.
Like,
you're welcome.
I'm sure they had. I'm sure they called the kids' parents who brought it, had to determine whether or not it was malicious or not.
Right.
My dad
Dad tripping.
Oh yeah. Like
I didn't even know they made gummies for that.
I didn't know they did either. So Tal talking about where was it? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm assuming they had to call the parents, bring them in, and make sure it wasn't malicious, and then still had to call all the parents of the kids who had it.
Hey, somebody kid out there getting super sleep at the house. Hey, that's why I'm gonna stop calling them nighttime vitamins, because my son liable to do that and be like, I want everybody to have vitamins and tea. Hey, that is hilarious.
Yeah, man.
So, nah, man. So how was your week? How was your week last week? Obviously, there were some big events that went down.
Yeah, I mean, the week was interesting, right? Because it tastes good. Like we had the elections last week, right?
Election was on Tuesday.
The elections was on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, today. Right?
It's still going on.
I think they just called.
Did they finally call the House?
No, they still hadn't called the House because they still waiting on joints from California.
Right.
But they just called the Arizona governor's race.
Oh, who won it? Who won?
The Democrat won.
Hey, Carrie Lake is about to go crazy.
Carrie Lake about to go crazy. So it's interesting, right? Because I think we all walked into the night or walked into that week assuming like Republicans would control the House, the Senate, pick up all these seats, pick up all these governorships, and that ain't. I think I said that. I said that the Republicans would keep the House, and then Republicans would keep the House and keep the Senate.
I actually think you caught it spot on last week. I think what you said, and if I remember correctly, even for the Georgia election, you said Georgia ain't going to elect Stacey Abrams, but they'll get Raphael Warnock.
And because the thing about Georgia, right? Georgia's still Georgia, right? Like Georgia is still Georgia. And you go into the voting booth and you wish the best for Stacey, but Georgia is going to be chauvinist and racist. Right?
They're just not ready. They're just not ready.
No.
And you know what? I said this. I said this about the election. Once I said Georgia's going to a runoff, I was like, the real loser here is Herschel Walker, because I think a lot of his supporters are going to stay home now, knowing that the Senate is not in play.
And
right?
I think that was the key, right? I think you would have seen more money spent. I think you still see a good bit of money in Georgia, but I think you would have seen more money spent in Georgia if the Democrats had lost
Arizona
state,
or Nevada.
Right? And it was 50, and it was we need, and the Democrats needed Georgia to get to 50-50.
Right.
If that's what was the case, then I think you would have seen a lot more money spent. But
I tell you this, depending on how much the Democrats spend in Georgia now, tells you how much they do not like Joe Manchin
or Christian Sinema.
Right.
I think the bigger issue,
neutralize one of these two.
Exactly. Because I think the real issue, right, is when we think about 2022. If you get Warnock, which I think you got a good shot at getting Warnock reelected.
As long as people don't play games.
As long as people don't play games and people show up to vote like they did the last time, I think you win. And then in 2024 presidential election, you'll have Joe Manchin will be up for reelection, and Christian Sinema in Arizona will be up for reelection. But Joe Manchin is up for reelection in a state that went for Donald Trump. So in all likelihood, Joe Manchin's career probably ends in 2024.
Unless something amazing happens.
Yeah.
I think that's more so why you have to neutralize him now, right?
Yeah.
Because he's only going to become more conservative, more restrictive in his vote to try and lure those voters in.
But I think he'll lose. No, he didn't lose last time, so never mind. Because his voters voted for him and Donald Trump in the same year, and he got elected. So this is Joe Manchin is an odd bird, but I think more than likely, I think the Democrats will primary Christian Sinema in Arizona to get rid of her, because now Arizona is probably going to be solidly Democrat for the next couple of years. So you'll primary Christian Sinema.
That's interesting.
Democrat.
That is an interesting take, because Arizona has been a battleground for so long, and still kind of is. I mean, it's the mirror image to Georgia, which is also on some trajectory of transition from a political standpoint. And I don't necessarily agree with Andre Dickens, Georgia's blue now.
No,
I think it's more purple-ish, where I honestly think the thing that saved Brian Kemp was his stance against Donald Trump because of Brad Raffensperger.
And I'll say COVID.
Yeah, I mean, he did an okay job. He did an okay job. And it was like that. I think that's what made Stacey's job really difficult, is because he broke away from the Trump party at a time where it was so advantageous for his profile. That was like, so what are you going to say about him? You know what I mean?
And I think, when you look at, when did he run the first time? 16? Yeah, 16.
Yeah, I think that was.
I think the country is different now than it was in 16, right? In 16, we were fighting. It was Kemp and Donald Trump. And I think Georgia looked a hell of a lot different when it was Hillary Clinton trying to win the state of Georgia. So in some cases, Stacey was was Stacey Hillary versus Kemp Trump, which probably pulled a lot of those moderate Republicans, independents from the state to her side. And I don't think those people voted. Obviously, they didn't vote with her this time. I think they were like, yo, Kemp ain't done that bad of a job. He handled COVID. He's anti-Trump. All right, cool. He's worthy of another shot. And that's why you saw what's his name? Herschel run well below what Kemp was running.
He didn't pull nearly as much as Kemp did.
Nope.
But I was also curious. Yeah, see, so here's things that they were talking about party splitting, right? So ever so slightly, Brad Raffensperger outperformed Kemp in this election. And it's because I think more Democrats were like, yeah, I mean, he's all right. He's not like everyone else, which is a larger theme of this election, which is a big repudiation against Trump, right? It's like he's not the man that you thought he was, right?
On paper.
That's crazy.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, long story short, I know, we don't want to belabor the point. We'll talk about Black Panther in a little bit. But I think I want to say, what was it? First time since LBJ that the Democrats gained governor's houses.
No, so the trend line apparently was that they tend to lose like 40 seats or something, and the House, the party in office usually gets voted out at midterms. And the fact that they still held the Senate is pretty major.
And what's not really being discussed a lot is everybody's talking about, oh, look what the Republicans did in Florida. But we also have to stop for a second and look what the Democrats did in Michigan, right? Like Democrats got reelected.
Gretchen. With Gretchen.
Yeah. And then flipped both chambers of both the House and the Senate.
The House and Senate,
in Michigan, and did the same thing in Pennsylvania.
And pulled Pennsylvania in. And was like, dang, that's like a pretty good hat trick. You know what I mean?
So, I think, I think this continues to show, are we a divided country? Yes.
Oh, yeah. But I think it also says that most people are center left, center right, not on the fringes, far right, far left, right? Which is, it's going to be interesting because I don't know what you do with this for Biden 24. You know what I mean?
I think this bodes well for Biden in 24.
I don't know, man. I think there's still the idea, and I do think this is a bit of a mirage. But I'm not nearly that well versed in politics like that. But it seems like someone could look into the results of, like, say, what happened in Florida and say, oh, this is new blood for the Republican Party. This is why Ron DeSantis is winning. But also, I feel like his opponent really wasn't that well liked in Florida.
Nope.
So it's not that this means so much more. And I think there's a confidence that comes along with the Democrats to say, yeah, look how well we're doing. Let's keep that going. And I'm like,
They won based off his policies. Like,
off of Biden's policies?
Yeah, they won off his policies. Like,
see, I wonder if that's that. I don't take that away the same way. I also feel like some people voted that way. Like, we need to stamp Trump out. Like, he needs no.
But he's still here.
No. Like, I mean, like, but they were like, where there's a Trump candidate, I'm going the other way. And that's not exactly the same thing as saying like the Democrats are.
But the party, see, that's the issue though, is the Republican Party is still like, no, we support Trump.
Yeah, like, that's part of you're exactly right. I feel like that's going to be a bigger thing for.
I think that is going to be a fun show to watch. The
I mean, did he announce yet?
No, he's supposed to do it. They say he might do it Tuesday,
which is crazy as hell.
But like the Republicans are like, hey, no, don't do it now. And then he's like, no, the hell with y'all, we're gonna do it. So I don't know, man. I think it bodes well. I think when you look at, I'm sure it's a little bit of both, right? I don't think it's all Biden's policies. I don't think it's all Republicans having a bad candidate. Right. It's not all Roe v. Wade. I think
it's a bunch of stuff in there.
It was a bunch of stuff, but I think at the end of the day, you can't argue with the fact that no president before him since LBJ has picked up what he picked up, right?
Right.
Like, you're going to add seats in the Senate.
Right. Which that's crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, granted, it's one seat, right? But that now means
that one seat means a lot.
That means now that there's no power sharing in the committee, right? Like, it's not a 50-50 split anymore in committee. It's we have more votes than you, so everything gets pushed out of committee, judges or whatever, and it just makes life a hell of a lot easier on the Democratic side, or at least on the Senate side. House side, different story, but we'll get there later.
House side is still getting wild, and this really doesn't bode well for Kevin McCarthy.
Oh no. Yeah. The swords are out for that guy.
Good luck. Good luck, my friend.
I mean, and even on the Senate side, right? People are complaining now. They don't want
Mitch.
They don't want Mitch as Senate minority leader.
They want money making Mitch. They said. I mean, I think all that's like griping to try and kiss the rings for Trump, but we'll see. We'll see.
I think if you had to ask me right now, I'm sitting here on November 14th.
Right.
Do I want to be Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, or do I want to be insert Republican candidate Kevin McCarthy and Mitt Romney? I mean, and Mitch McConnell.
Right.
I think if I'm looking at it objectively, I'd much rather be on the Democratic side than the Republican side.
Oh yeah. I mean, this actually really bodes well for the Democratic Party to not have to deal with the far left agenda, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, if I could get rid of that problem, but also just keep the Senate, I'll take it.
The crazy thing about it is you got, I think I saw a stat the other day that said every vote from somebody 65 and older was canceled out by somebody between the ages of 18 to 25.
That's a pretty good sign. And you have more people activating over the next 2 years.
That's what I'm saying, right? And when you think about one party, and this assumes that that there's no attrition, right? That hey, everybody from that demo was going to continuously vote for the Democratic Party. But I'd prefer to have a demographic growing into adulthood than a demographic that's dying, right? So
right.
I don't know. Here, I'd rather be a Democrat than a Republican.
Well, stay tuned because we'll keep y'all updated.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about it. We'll keep talking about it.
One of the more important things is if you're in Georgia, get your behind out and vote for the runoff. Don't forget the runoff this year is extremely short.
Yeah,
it's an extremely short window. It's like a matter of like 2 to 3 weeks or something.
And I think they canceled the first Saturday because it was a state holiday.
It's Robert E. Lee Day.
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee Day is why you cannot vote on Saturday. Right? That's insane.
Ironic as a mug. I don't know, man. I appreciated this. Even for Georgia, I know from personally that the state from a governorship space didn't go the way I'd like it to go. But to see how people split their vote, between Rathersberger, Kemp, Stacey, Warnock, Herschel, like that to me, if I had to pick, that's the way the system is supposed to work. It didn't work out right for the Democrats. Stacey stood up there and said the shit didn't work out. I concede to the dude. And Georgians voted with what made sense for them personally. Right. And I can't be mad at that, right? Do I agree with all Brian Kemp's policies? Hell no. Right. But I wasn't going to agree with all Stacey's policies either. I think she was just my preference, if we're being honest. But that's not the way the world works, and I'm okay with that.
All right, man. So what else happened? Obviously, we got to talk about Wakanda.
Golly, that movie was great. God dog it.
Here's my question to you, right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we went to the premiere Thursday night at Silver Spot. It was amazing. It was amazing event. Shout outs to Lee Willis. If you guys had went there, if you showed up, you showed out, it was amazing. It was a great event.
So dope.
We sat and talked about the movie for about a good 15, 20 afterward. 25, 30. I think the drinks have had me a little bit kind of trying to catch up with the time or whatever, right? So it was a great movie. I left the theater like 10 out of 10. I posted online 10 out of 10. One of the best movies I've seen. And then I started hearing people's feedback, right? And I ran into some people that I trust for their perspective. And they were like, I put it down there with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Wow.
Like, whoa. Right. And I was like, and then somebody else at my job was like, no, yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't that good of a story.
You can't trust them.
Like, what is happening?
They can't babysit your kids while you in the room. Like,
I know, I'm worried because I thought it was one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Yeah. Right? I would say to me 15 out of 10.
Yeah. I agree. I think it was nonstop action from the opening, the cold open.
That was the best part to me.
Yeah.
The cold open was the best part to me.
And I'm not even going to lie to you. I found a way to watch it again without watching it again. And I watched it. I started to, and then I was like, I can't do this. Right. No. So I have to say, the movie is just epic, man. The storyline is just epic. The acting is superb. I don't understand what people are talking about. And then I saw that somebody I know in New York was like, you got to see it in 3D. And I was like, 3D? What? I kind of want to see it in 3D though.
if we're being honest, I would say the acting. So somebody said, hey, was it better than the first? I said, you can't say that. I can't say that it's better than the first.
It's just different.
It's different. The acting was better in this one than in the first.
I agree. With the exception of one character.
M'Baku?
Nah.
Okay, cool. All right.
I think, arguably, I think M'Baku was more of who he was in the first one, right? With a little bit more depth. One thing that immediately struck me about Winston Duke's M'Baku was at first I thought that was war paint in his hair. And no, my man just got a little gray from not being dusted, which I thought was interesting. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Baku getting a little gray up here, which is on par for where we at in life, right?
No, bro. Like I think,
I thought the special cameo actor was even more so than what he was before.
But you know what's interesting is I think if you go back and rewatch the movie, you I think you would feel that coming, right? Because that scene, and I've been watching too much
Mbaku or special guest.
Jordan.
Okay.
The cameo, right? Spoiler, like if y'all ain't seen it by now, thank you. I'm assuming that's why our number dropped because we're talking about it now. Like we went from our core group to like now we got like 4 people watching.
It's us. It's us.
Look, it's like only the people who have seen it. So you remember the first time you saw Namor,
right,
when they were by the river.
Mm-hmm.
Shuri had just said, I want to burn the world down. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so that I think that was a direct line that whatchamacallit that Michael B. Jordan gave in Black Panther 1. So I think if you're paying attention to that arc,
parallel,
there you go, then I think your assumption is going to be that's who, and who the hell else she gonna see, right? Because she can't see her brother because he dead in real life.
But it's interesting she didn't see her mom.
I don't think that that's who she, because she hadn't dealt with her pain.
Well, I mean, also I think you can make the argument that the line of the herb passed through the men and in her immediate circle, right? So that's why she wouldn't have seen her mom, right? But I mean, Angela Bassett definitely gave the energy that she could have been Black Panther.
Her ass off.
She could have been Black Panther and she would have been whipping people's ass. If not for the Claire Huxtable, I have given everything.
Everything. I think that's what this movie did so much better. And I think it had to, and I don't think the other movie could have because those pain points weren't there. Right? I think Black Panther 1, the only pain we were dealing with was his dad.
The pain point in Black Panther 1 was his dad and the threat to the dynasty, right?
Yep.
Which was like Killmonger was a threat. Don't get me wrong. But the weight of losing T'Challa was just, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. It was amazing. Angela Bassett better get nominated for something because this was crazy. Now, can we talk about Easter eggs that I did not notice when we watched it in the theater?
So, for those who don't know, an Easter egg, something hidden by the writer or the director that points to something in the past, something in the comic book, or something in the future. Right? It's just a nod to fans that you have to watch it. You'll catch it. It's only up for a split second. Boom. Continue. Sorry.
So I now heard confirmation from the movie production crew that have said Toussaint is actually the little boy when they first get to the school. And he says, are you looking for the headmaster?
Yeah.
And they were like, think how deep this is, that this little boy, again, paralleling Killmonger, right? Which was like, I want to raise him, but not a part of this, a part of this culture. And he knows who he is. He sees his grandmother walk up and he's like, I'm still in character. So, Grandma, you here to see the headmaster? Good. Because Angela Bassett's Ramonda has already seen him. She's already familiar with who he is. Right. I thought that was dope. I thought that was incredibly dope.
So one of the things that I loved, so I love the parallels to that character, right? I think T'Challa Chadwick is purposefully raising him, obviously outside of the kingdom, so he gets the best of both worlds. He gets what Killmonger got by living in the outside world.
He gets to see the world as it is, not as it was through Wakanda's frame.
And then gets to come back and be king and rule, having seen the world, right? So I'm loved by my mother and by my network. So so everything that Killmonger was not given as a child,
he gave him, which if you follow what T'Challa said to his dad on the plane, he said, "Why did you not go back for the boy?
Yep.
All this is your fault, right?"
Yep. Oh,
I loved it. And then when Killmonger reads the family tree, when he goes through the family tree, and it's like, I didn't cause this. T'Challa was too noble. That's why this happened, right? His dad would have murdered that girl from the Lost Tribe.
Yep.
And it was like, I mean, he did to my dad, right? He did to his brother.
So to me, like, whoa. Because he's counting Black people raised outside of Wakanda
as the lost tribe,
as his lost tribe, right? And so to me,
I love it.
Again,
I love it.
Drawing
it just furthers, right.
So to me, it's so interesting. Obviously, you got the parallels between T'Challa and Killmonger in point one, in episode 1. But then obviously to draw those parallels again, with Shuri and Namor.
And can you pause for a second on Killmonger wearing all white, meaning he's still honoring the death?
Oh, and he was fresh too. Hey, if anybody want to get me that sweater he was wearing in the scene, I know my chest and my stomach ain't quite right to wear it.
Anybody want to give me the muscles that Killmonger put on? He showed up as Creed 3 for Killmonger. And I was like, yo, remind me not to challenge Michael B. Jordan to a fist fight, because this dude is huge, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, but it's amazing, right? Because for Shuri to ascend into the astral plane from the same space where her mother died.
Well,
so dope.
I mean, for her to ascend through the way her mother died, right? And then the subcontext of what Killmonger said to bury him in the ocean, in the water, right? I just thought it was like, there are too many. It's so awesome right now. But my mom is asking, where was Daniel Kaluuya's character? And they mentioned him. And actually, Ramonda says to Okoye, she says, when Okoye is like, well, I've given up stuff too. I've sacrificed. She was like, your husband lives out there and you can still see him. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I was like, yo, Ramona was going. She went so hard. And then when she recounts Okoye's offenses, I was like, yo, I got chills from her saying her.
I mean, when you think about Okoye, right? Like, her husband died under her protection.
Right.
Her son didn't die under her protection, but
he
still,
did.
like, her son was attacked.
No. Protection. No, like, think about this from Ramona's standpoint, right?
Yep.
Her husband dies. T'Challa takes the throne. Yep. He fights M'Baku, gets him to yield. They have to go out to go get One Arm, your boy. I can't think of his name. Huh?
White guy.
No, not Bucky, the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Claw. Yep. You listen, whatever his name is. They have to go get him. He comes back, but Killmonger fights him, and Okoye's like, it's a standard. This is family versus family. Killmonger kills Forrest Whitaker's character, who's a lifelong friend, right? And then kills her son, and she's got to go, right? Yeah. And take him up to M'Baku. M'Baku is like, yo, I can do some stuff, but I'm not a miracle worker.
The reality is, though, right? Like, Okoye is not wrong in all of that.
No, she's not.
Because Okoye is just living the tradition of the village, right? Like, yo, like this dude asked, he's blood, right? Boom.
Right.
So he can ask for ritual combat, and then he won, right? So yes, Queen, you're not wrong in that we stood by
the throne.
We didn't stand by Killmonger. We stood by
the throne.
The throne, right? Which ultimately is my responsibility, is to protect the throne and whoever sits in the chair, right? Like it's not to this king.
But I mean,
or
this is the ugliness of that, right? Which is like traditionalism over progressiveness, right? And that traditionalism is what does Okoye in. Because if you think about Lupita Nyong'o's character, she says to her in the first one, she's like, "Yo, let's go." And Okoye is like, "No, I'm loyal to the throne. What is wrong with you? Yep. I'm not a spy that can just come and go as they please."
Exactly.
And I think even that struck a chord with Lupita Nyong'o's character when she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm a spy, yes, but you just traded on your lifelong king." So I mean, I don't know.
So one of the things, and I don't want to jump around. Well, we are jumping around. One of the things that I loved the most was, so anybody who has, and Candace and I have talked about this, and I'm going to introduce her to the show maybe today, probably tomorrow. Go back and we're going to watch Moon Knight. Because Moon Knight was the first show that really started. Well, Black Panther dove into the goddess or the Panther god one.
Yeah.
But Moon Knight, to me, took it a step further and really introduced you to the gods that live above the plane, right? So we have this plane where all the kings and former kings live, and then above that is this realm of the gods, which we finally got introduced to in Moon Knight, which Black Panther 2 kind of brought back forward, right? So we got Bast, the Panther god, and then we got old boy, the Feather god for Namor's people. So I loved how they are they did two subtle things. They're subtly introducing gods and goddesses to the universe. And then they are also subtly, one show at a time, introducing mutants into the universe, which
I think they've subtly kind of done this. I thought it was a little bit odd place that he called himself a mutant, you know.
I thought that was odd.
What? So y'all got internet down there,
right?
How you know they call it mutants, right? But I mean, I'm willing to ride with it, right?
Yeah.
Namor's character, I didn't know much about Namor, so I didn't know much. I kind of went in a little fresh, right? I love that they explained his name as the child without love.
Oh gosh, man!
And if you've ever seen Looper, have you ever seen Looper?
Yeah, I've seen it.
So the end scene of Looper, when they show old boy growing up and having suffered this trauma and becoming this bad guy from the future that ruins the past, right? Over and over again. And is the creation of the bad. Like this mythos has been created in this moment is what I saw that you watched in that flashback scene where he emerges from and sees slavery and sees these things happening. And you're right. Namor is in the same vein as Killmonger, right? Which is like people that view the world as like, this is huge suffering, right? The only difference between the three of them, Namor, T'Challa, and what is his real name? Ninjaku, or I can't pronounce Killmonger's real name. But the difference between those three is that T'Challa and Namor's characters in their history, they said, we're gonna go more protectionist, we're gonna go hide, just don't mess with us, right? Killmonger is like, y'all need to be out here going to get them. And I think what you find is Namor somewhere in the middle of those two, where he's like, we could go and get y'all very easily, and I have no qualms about that. It's just don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You know what I mean?
think to take it a step further, Namor's people did what the Wakandans were afraid to do. Right?
Yeah.
Namor's people came out and killed it. Like the reason why they're hiding now is because they came out when old boy was young and burned it all down and was like, okay, we can't come out here again because people are going to know we're here.
Right.
And so they retreated in isolation, whereas the Wakandans chose outside world be damned. You're never going to know we're here. So suffering that takes place on the outside ain't my problem.
Right.
We're gonna self-isolate and not give a damn about what happens on the outside. Yeah. So okay, can I bring up another point?
Yeah, please do.
Did you watch the Eternals, right?
Yeah.
So remember in the Eternals, there was that scene right before the Spaniards take over and right before colonialism and slavery kicks off, where the Eternals retreat. Somebody said, had the Eternals not retreated in that moment, would Namor have ever been born?
That's a good point.
So because then that moment of them of Namor killing the Spaniards, because the Spaniards are there for slavery, never happens because the Eternals in a previous movie, in a previous lifetime, would have intervened to end slavery. But they retreated into their high castle of, again, gods and goddesses retreated into their castle and didn't do anything. Sorry, that might be a little bit too deep for.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, something else from Eternals that I thought you would have brought up that I'm still upset about with every passing content that comes out post Eternals is ain't nobody gonna talk about the huge aliens sticking outside of the earth.
I've just
nobody's gonna recognize that apparently from space you can see a huge alien.
I don't think we're gonna deal with that
up out of the ocean, frozen in time.
I think
just no one recognizes this.
I think eventually they'll deal with it. I think there's a spell casted on the entire earth that nobody sees it, right?
I can't believe that. I can't believe. And like Namor is from the ocean, and it's like you should know. He
knows. So one of the things I'll say is I think one of the reasons why I love what Marvel does, even in their bad movies, is they do a really good job of carrying story and carrying through lines.
Right.
And then they'll drop in these subtle Easter eggs, right? If you pay attention or go back and watch enough YouTube videos after you're done to connect the dots in all of these movies, right? Because they talked about what was the first movie of this phase, not even movie, first show of the phase was WandaVision.
WandaVision, yeah.
And Vision's last line in the movie is about grief and how I think grief, something along the lines of grief is important because it shows the perseverance of life or like the perseverance of love. And then every show from that moment forward
is about, I mean, phase 4, if you had to call phase 4, is really about grief.
Yeah.
Right? By and large, a majority of this is about grief, right?
Yep.
Grief and the fallout of processing through loss, right? And in Spider-Man's case, it is happening while we're watching him go through this epic battle and then suffer through future loss, of which is like the story doesn't have the happy ending that you think it does. Loki suffers betrayal, right? From his own self, I guess, self betrayal, right? I mean, it's just amazing, right? It's amazing to watch this like play out over movie scenes and years and all that. I do think that and this is one of my own little side projects. I'm going to rework phase 4 for my own purposes because I think what hurts phase 4 is the way the content was released, right? Like it just feels so disjointed that there was a better way of releasing out all this content.
But I think that's COVID, right? Like, I mean, you think about, because Candace on the way home, we're talking about the how many times Black Panther was paused.
Yeah.
Well, production stopped, right? Production stopped for COVID. Production stopped for
Letitia Wright got injured.
Letitia Wright got injured. Letitia Wright didn't want to get COVID shot. She didn't want to get so 4 times production was stopped.
Right.
For valid reasons. Like Black Panther was supposed to be out 2 years ago. I think Black Panther was supposed to headline phase. I think it might have been No Way. I mean, Spider-Man and then Black Panther might have been the next movie out. So I think phase 4 was troubled by is the COVID phase.
But I mean, it's still like phase 4 is still really problematic to me. Like there's more problems in phase 4 than any other phase that Marvel's had. And I'm like, I really hope y'all clean this up because
I think I'm willing to give Marvel probably some grace that other fans aren't, because they did something with phase 1, 2, 3, like the build up to Thanos.
Right. I get it.
That we've never seen before in society, right? Where you're going to have 20 movies across 7-8 years that lead up to 4 or 5 hours or 2 movies, boom, 8 years worth of content, 20 something movies that lead up to this moment. We were bound to have a drop off, right? Like,
I mean, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah, you can't.
And I get it. It's just still like, I don't know, man. So, and what I am very excited about is Jonathan Majors Kang.
Fam,
bro. I think Jonathan Majors Kang has, like, I remember when they said Josh Brolin was going to be Thanos, and I was pretty excited for that. I thought it was going to be pretty dope. What we got was still dope. It wasn't like how I thought it was going to be, but still cool. I think Jonathan Majors Kang, though, knowing that you're going to get different variants of him playing the same character over and over again,
it's going to be dope.
I think that's going to be epic. That's going to be insane watching that play out.
I think I will agree with that, and I love to see it. I think what I love about the future is getting to see Jonathan Majors act his ass off, because right now he is in his bag with Devotion, Creed 3, and all of the Marvel stuff that he's about to drop. Jay Majors is in his bag. I think I'm excited to see from a Marvel perspective. Marvel just got back their 2 most popular franchises of all time. And to see what they are going to be able to do to incorporate them into the franchise, but then to also carry that story forward. There's no more nostalgic characters than the ones that exist in X-Men. Like, that's Marvel's bag. X-Men for everybody in our generation, that's Marvel's bag right there. And so to know they just got that franchise back, to know that they just got Fantastic Four back, those are probably, if Justice League and Superman and Batman and all the rest of those guys are a tier 1 for DC, X-Men and Fantastic Four are tier 1 for Marvel. So Marvel's been able to do all of this without having access to their tier 1 characters. And now they got them back. And it's like the 10-year-old boy in me is like giddy like a freaking schoolgirl, bro. Like,
but that's why I'm so interested in where this goes from here. I obviously think Namor has to come back.
No, I think he does, because he said it at the end.
He's got to come back for multiple runs, and it's got to be epic. And now
the next Black Panther has to be Black Panther versus, like, Wakanda versus the world at this point. And their only ally is probably going to be Namor and in his kingdom.
Well, I actually thought what was going to maybe threaten this would be would be the Jonathan Majors Kang or something like that, or Secret Wars or
I think it's the Thunderbolts.
You think it's Thunderbolts?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting.
Because old girl, the CIA lady, is the leader of the Thunderbolts.
No, so they changed that now. It's going to be Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford is going to be replacing Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, so she's not. I thought she was putting it, but she's the one putting together the team.
Apparently, she might be putting together either the Dark Avengers or the
Oh, I forgot about that.
Dark Avengers,
information for the streets.
The West Coast Avengers, or the Young Avengers.
I don't think she's not putting together Young Avengers. I think she's putting together maybe the Dark Avengers might be who she's putting together.
Right. Or she could be putting together Thunderbolts, right? Mm-hmm. But then Harrison Ford is the guy that takes over.
Because she said in the damn movie, I want America to have access to all of the vibranium.
Right.
So that to me puts her at direct conflict with Wakanda. And if it's the CIA and the U.S. federal government versus Wakanda, then that means it's the world versus Wakanda.
I definitely don't think they're ready though for Shuri, dark side Shuri, which is Shuri stepping to the bad side is a force to be reckoned with
anymore. I think I'll be intrigued to. I don't even know when we're going to get Black Panther 3. Let me look it up.
I don't know when we're going to get Black Panther 3, but Shuri is not T'Challa.
No.
And she is already shown that she is very much a product of Killmonger and T'Challa, right? The pain of Killmonger and the nobleness of T'Challa, right?
Yeah. I think she is the perfect middle ground between the two, right? Like, I don't think she's leaning heavy. I think that moment where Ramonda said the line from Lion King, remember who you are, right? Why do we need the Lion King line, right? I think that brought her closer to her center, right? Which is in between T'Challa and Killmonger, so her center. I think that brought her closer to that moment than pushing her to the other side.
I would also call out this. There's a weird scene that happens at the end, right? Where Namor Beaton yells out Imperious Rex, which is his line. That's his jam to his people, right? And Shuri yells out Yi Bombay, right? And I'm pretty sure that's not like, these aren't like friendly yell outs to your crew, right? It's like the Emperor, long live the Emperor, Imperious Rex, right? And Bombay is like something like keep the fight going or something, right? Like, right? And I wonder if it's like, no, I'm not saying we cool, but I'm saying we about to go back into our corners for
I think they have a necessary friendship. They have an alliance out of necessity.
Yeah.
I think if you're centering Black Panther 3 around Wakanda versus everybody, then if it's this race for vibranium, then it has to be this necessary alliance, the alliance of two foes who have been at war since the dawn of time.
I can't wait to see who comes to Wakanda's side when that plays out, because I already think Bucky will have to show up, right? And be like,
but that's the thing, is he's in the
Thunderbolts. Right.
So,
but that doesn't mean he's gonna play it straight though.
No. I think he ends up choosing sides. Anyway,
I think he'll be like a double agent, which is like, and I think Zemo is going to be the one that tries to out him. Like, yeah, I know what you're up to. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, man. I mean, for me, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
I can't wait to try and watch it again. I can't wait to try and watch it in IMAX, watch it in 3D. I can't wait till it comes on Disney Plus.
A friend of mine watched it apparently he was in New York. and he watched it on a screen that was 75.6 feet tall, 101 feet wide. So I'm assuming that is significantly bigger than IMAX.
What kind of screen is that?
I don't know. I'm about to look it up. That just seems obnoxious.
So the question is, when is 45 days from November? What is that? The 10th? Is that when it came out? 11/10?
Who?
Black Panther. It was like 11/11, wasn't it?
I think so. Okay, so apparently that's the world's tallest IMAX screen.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so here you go. 45 days from November 11th, which is the soonest that Black Panther can hit Disney Plus. Guess which day that is?
February 1st.
It is the day after Christmas.
Is it for real?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it can't be. Is that 45 days for real? I don't think I don't think it hits Disney Plus then, because I think it'll still be popping in the theaters.
December 26th, 2022.
I don't think you get it. I don't think you get it until New Year.
If it pops on Disney Plus, I'm shutting it down. That's gonna be the Christmas break. I'm gonna be watching that thing over and over and over.
I don't think you're gonna get it.
And over and again. And I might just go get a new TV just so I can watch it.
I don't think you're gonna get it Christmas, day after Christmas.
You don't think so?
No, because what big blockbuster movie is coming out over Christmas break?
A holiday special on.
So when people are sitting at home and want to go to the theaters, what are we gonna go see?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. She's saying they're gonna make too much money on the box office. Like, that's Black Panther 2 is going to be box office gold.
I think if it, as long as it keeps trending out, then yes, right?
You're not getting that in January.
The recent Marvel window is as short as 45, as much as 70, right?
So you better err on the 70.
which would probably put it just in time for Black History Month.
I think you could see
which is some marketing that they would do. You know,
check the date. This is what you do. Check the date for the next Marvel movie.
Well, the next one is Quantumania, isn't it?
What's the release date?
I don't think it's till March, April, maybe even May.
Let's see here. Like, I think that'll give you upcoming Marvel movies. There we go. I think that'll give you more likely when they're dropping that thing.
Oh, that comes out February 17th, 2023.
Then I think Black Panther will drop on Disney Plus February 1st. Like, it'll end of January, early February, because Marvel's not going to have two competing movies in the theater. You're not getting Black Panther on Disney Plus at Christmas.
I'm just excited. I can't wait.
They're going to make you go see that movie twice in theaters.
I mean, technically when Black Panther 1 came out, I saw that like 5 times. So
yeah, like, you're going to get February 17th. So that means they'll probably Marvel will start the run up for that movie January 1. Yeah.
For Quantumania?
Yeah, they'll start the big marketing push.
Yeah.
After Christmas. Yeah, you're not getting Black Panther 2 until after the new year.
All right. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. That's all I know.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got sucked into looking at looking at all the upcoming movies.
So this was pretty good. This was a pretty good episode.
I loved it, man. I hope we didn't bore anybody, man, with our nerd talk. maybe dove a little bit too deep. Carrie, I apologize if I talked over you today, man.
No, it's all good.
Got real excited.
It is very exciting stuff going on. Thus, we have.
If y'all haven't seen the movie, go see it.
If you haven't seen the movie, I don't know why you're on with us when you could be going to watch
that
show.
I mean, we didn't hit like I probably say we didn't hit 75% of the spoilers that are in the movie. Like there's so much good quality.
I don't want to ruin it for people. That's why I just left it at it's 10 out of 10.
It's yeah. I mean, it's there'll be plenty more times to dive deeper into this. So
exactly.
Anywho, hero villain, man.
Hero villain. So I have 2 heroes.
Oh.
I have 2 heroes, no villains this week.
Okay. I got a villain.
You got a villain. Do you want to go first and me go second?
Yours, I don't know if I have a hero.
Okay.
Yeah, just a villain. So I'll go first.
All right.
Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Daylight savings time.
You are not wrong.
Daylight savings time is a hoe and a half, right? Like, fam, I've been sitting here like 5:30. It get dark. Now all of a sudden I'm sleepy. I'm looking at my kids talking about why y'all still awake. Like, I'm trash. I don't know when it happened, but like daylight savings time hit your boy in the face. Like I'm talking about the other day. What was it? Saturday when it was just cold and just overcast all day.
Yeah,
and it was daylight savings. I was sitting on the couch struggling like somebody put me off the floor because I can't keep my eyes open. I don't know what to do. So no hero for me. Just the hoe of daylight savings time, man. So
okay. All right. My first hero, Candace already said it. It's got to be you, man. You got a birthday coming up tomorrow. I know you got to be celebrating something.
No, man, I don't think I'm doing anything tomorrow, man. I mean,
you ain't getting a steak or nothing. I mean, I know y'all.
I'm gonna go to work.
Hey, you gotta make that money.
I mean, we're gonna take some time as a family next week. Hey. So hopefully I can crank out as much. Like even after the pod, I'm gonna go upstairs and maybe get about another hour in.
Bruh, if it stretches longer than an hour, Candace shut him down so that man can start enjoying his birthday.
Oh man, thank you guys, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Really,
shout
really
outs to Jeff, man. Turning what is it? 39? 39?
39. Last Candace says, you gotta go big. This is your last year in your 30s. I'm like,
I ain't gonna do all that. I'm tired. I'm tired. Hey, my second hero of the week. Yeah. This is slick. Somehow I missed this. I wasn't paying attention. I got to call this out. And I should have known because it's an election, right? 2 years ago, we were sitting back. In the middle of the pandemic.
Yep.
Jeff called up and said, hey, we're going to do a dinner, right?
Was that this? Are we in that time now?
We are. Wow. We are 2 years old. This show is 2 years old.
What day today?
No, it was actually like 4 days ago, I think.
Are you serious?
Because we did it a week after the election, right?
Wow.
The concept for the show was the day before the election, which was Monday before the election. And then we got together right afterwards, watching the election stuff. And that kicked off this whole show. And it has been 2 years, bro.
2 years.
2 years.
Every Monday, just about every Monday for 2 years.
Every Monday for 2 years. We could write a book and just sell the book and just make money off of that.
Wow.
I'm just saying, we need a book deal.
Bro, man, thank you for bringing that up. That's perspective, man.
I was like, I didn't even think about it. Danielle brought it out to me and she was like, yeah, it's the second anniversary because it's an election. And I was like, it is an election. How did we miss this? Right. Wow. And sure enough, yeah. 2 years ago is when everything kind of changed, right? So props to
That's
us, man.
crazy.
Right.
Wow.
Who would have thought of that?
Who would have thought? I'm gonna go back and watch our first episode.
Let's see us trying to work it out how he's gonna do it. Do you have Zoom? We got WebEx. I don't know. Are we gonna record it? We'll record it. But what's the show? I don't know. Well, maybe we'll bring somebody on. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 years. 2
All right.
years.
I'll share the first episode on. I'll share the first episode on our Facebook page.
Hey man, that's major. 2 years of content.
2 years,
Jeff had a goal. Jeff had a goal to do 100 episodes, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we're fairly close to that goal. If you don't count the time that I took off for the baby. So
it wasn't even my goal. I think Kev on stage said, do it for if you can get 100 episodes in.
Right.
If you can just stay consistent for 100 episodes, then you know you've got something. And
we're probably coming up on it, right? Because it's been every Monday for about 2 years. That would have been like 54, right? But then we took some time off for a minute, right? So we're probably trending around 75, 70, high 70s, something like that.
I'm gonna look.
We still have a few more episodes to put out, but we're coming up on it, man. We coming up on it.
All right. So somebody remind me. We won't have a show Monday. Next Monday we're off. Yeah, right. Yeah. So the following Monday, when we're back, I will look up how many episodes we've had.
We got to do the count. I'll get the balloons. And we'll celebrate this thing. So
we'll figure it out how many episodes we have, how many episodes we've been doing this, man.
Yeah. Props to us, man. Heroes, the true heroes of Drunk Mondays.
Wow. 2 years.
2 years. Amazing.
Congrats, bro.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
So
goodness gracious. What a way to end the show, man. Thank you.
On that note.
What a way to end the show, man. Thank you for the context.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Wow, 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff, man.
I'm Carrie. Peace out, y'all. Drunk Mondays.
2-year-old Drunk Mondays, baby.
2 years.